Okay, hello and welcome to Layman's Philosophy. We'll see how this goes. I have invited a guest to join me. He's not here yet, but I am anticipating his appearance anytime now. So let's get started. As you may have noticed if you watched the introduction to the pre-broadcast advertisement that I had set up there. Today's guest will be Jeff Morrow. He's a good friend of mine. I've known him for years, worked with him, another philosophical layman such as myself. And today, assuming Jeff joins us, I hope he does, we'll be talking about three questions. First question, what does it mean to live a good life? The next question, how will humans as a species go extinct? And the third question, is it possible to live a normal life and not ever tell a lie? Okay, Jeff seems to be trying to join us, but I don't see his picture yet, nor do I hear his, let's see, auto add, teacher, motto, time zone. Okay, that should be okay. Hopefully we'll get things worked out here quickly. Jeff is who we're waiting for. We'll see if he shows up here pretty quick. Hoping that everything works out with that. Let's see. So, as I said, he seems to have a poor internet connection, which doesn't really make sense. He's okay, and he's not sure why. Well, we'll see. Have to see what's going on here. I don't know exactly why he's having problems either. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Well, Jeff, I don't know what to tell you there, Jeffer. This is not going as smoothly as we had planned. That's too bad. Let's see. That seems to be okay. Well, let's see. If I tell him to try again, maybe? Let's see. So, philosophical questions. What to do when the internet connection is poor? Now, there's a philosophical question for us all. Good question. What do you do when your internet connection is poor? Let's see. All right. Well, get started while we're waiting for hopefully Jeff to join us. So, what does it mean to live a good life? Well, yeah, that's it. We have to define good, and good is a very tricky concept to to try and label or define. Good, I guess, it's all relative. If it's good for you, then it's good, right? So what does it mean to live a good life? To me, that's exactly what it means. Just if you yourself are satisfied, satisfaction, I think, is good. If you're satisfied with your life, at least that's what it would be for me. I feel that I live a good life because I'm satisfied. I work at jobs that I enjoy. I live in a town, a city, a country that I'm happy to live in. I spend time with people that I enjoy being with, my wife, my friends. So I'm satisfied. So to me, that is a good life. But that's my definition. Jeff says, give him a couple of minutes. All right, well, putter around for a couple more minutes. So, satisfaction. Maybe some people would consider it simply satisfying as not being good, that they want something beyond satisfying. They want something challenging, intriguing. They want something exciting, rather than just being satisfying for it to be a good life for them. The mountain climbers, the skydivers, the bungee jumpers, none of those, well, small mountains. I wouldn't call it mountain climbing. I'd call it hiking in the mountains. But for myself, those things have never been necessary for me to feel that I am living a satisfactory and enjoyable, fulfilling life. To me, more than the places. Oh, is he coming through? Are you here, Jeff? Are you here, Jeff? Oh, there he is.
I'm here.
Hey. All right, good deal.
I made it on.
Good deal.
We're in a live broadcast. Yeah. Can I ask you to come back at about 11:30? Yeah, that would be great. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah, see you then. Okay, thank you. Okay.
All right, good deal.
There I am. I made it. There were some problems going on there. Yeah.
No worries, no worries. I was stalling for time here. You can enjoy a recap later on. You can watch the video. I'm sure it'll be available on YouTube and so on. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So as I told you, the three questions that we've three philosophical questions for laymen that we're going to talk about today, very briefly, are what does it mean to live a good life? How will humans as a species go extinct? And is it possible to live a normal life and not ever tell a lie? So Jeff, you wanna introduce yourself before we get started here?
Yes, my name is Jeff Morrow. I am an associate professor in Kumamoto, Japan. Yes, and that's really all I'd like to say. Thank you.
Okay, all right, that's enough. Okay, all right. So I started to talk myself, my own ideas about what it means to live a good life. What does it mean to you?
I think living a good life, it's interesting because I think for me, living a good life is to have things that I want to accomplish. Yeah.
Okay.
For me, I think I've always wanted to try a lot of things and try as much as possible. And I've been able to try a lot and do a lot in my life. And for me, more than having a zillion dollars, That's what it is for me, to live
So,
a good life, of my own good life. Now, I don't know whether you're talking ethically or morally, or,
uh,
I don't really think about that too much.
I think that's up for interpretation. But one thing I wanted to clarify about your answer. So, is the living a good life, does that mean that you always have goals? Or is it the achievement of those goals? So is it having goals to strive for? Is that what makes it a good life, or is it the achievement of some
Yeah,
goals that you've set?
both. Having goals, of course, and achieving goals, things that I want to do,
I see.
and achieving those. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
It's a good life, as in interesting life, well-rounded life, etc.
Mm-hmm. So
Again, whether you're talking about morally or good for people or what have you, I'm not sure where your question lies on that realm.
it's open for interpretation. So
Okay.
however you want to answer it, yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. For me, that's what I enjoy in my life. My wife said to me last night, actually, she said, "You always like new things.
Mm-hmm.
You always like new things. Once you get something, you kind of want to move on to something new. You're always you like new technology, new traveling to new countries, trying new things." She said that last night, and I reflected on that, and I think it's very true.
Yeah.
I do like new things. I like change and evolving, right?
Mm-hmm.
And having things that I want to try in life and accomplishing those things.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
there's one life, as far as I know, there's one life. Yeah, right now. And
Right.
it's, in that, I see, of course, what's around me, what's available to me, and I try things within that kind of bubble. Now, of course, not all possibilities are open to me or to anyone. Yeah.
Right.
Right. We have possibilities and opportunities that we can attain and we can get. Of course, not everything is open to us all, right?
Right.
So within that, I like to try and accomplish some goals. Yeah.
Right.
Example. I'll just give you a quick example. I had a little mini bike as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was just a trail bike riding around the woods and around yards and whatnot, and not on the streets, but on ground and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And I came here to Japan and wanted to get a motorcycle again, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's quite strict in Japan. You can't just go out and get a motorcycle, right?
Right.
You have to have a license. The licensure is quite strict here. So, well, that was my goal, to get a motorcycle. And first I had to get the license, and I did what I needed to do to get the license, and then I did what I needed to do to get the motorcycle. So now I have that, and so that's just one small goal. But yeah.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. For me, I'm similar in that I like new things and doing new things and so on. But one thing I've noticed about myself is when I have something that I want to try that I know from the beginning is going to be difficult, it's going to be a challenge, I'm not intimidated by that. I'm still ready to go ahead with it. But I have a tendency to, once I have shown myself that I'm able to do that, that's enough. Now I don't need to perfect it. I don't need to to continue on to do that. I'm ready to try the next thing.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Sure. That's great. Yes.
Uh,
Do you have
okay.
any feeling about how you are towards people or towards society in general, as far as good life?
Yeah, I think yeah, most of my life has been looking for something new, some new challenges, new interactions, meeting new
Mhm.
people, going to new places, and so on. I am have always been interested in other countries and other cultures, languages, people, personalities, and so on. I find though that now I tend to I've slowed down a little bit in my adventuring. I am now looking to expand on the places that I know now and get to know them better, and the people that I know and spend more time with them. Of course, I still want to meet new people, interact with new people, have new experiences in that way. But I think the exploration phase of my life is kind of coming to an end and coming to the more comfortable, still exploring, but on a smaller scale, on a more local scale, rather than exploring around the world and so on, but more getting more in depth with the places that I already know.
Great. Yes. I know. I totally agree with that. I wouldn't say my exploration days are coming to an end by any means, although now they are with COVID. Yeah.
Right. That definitely puts a crimp in things. Yes.
Yeah. That's a little bit of a bummer. And who expected that? I mean, like fall of 2019. Yeah, it was going into winter of 2019. We were planning to go the summer of 2020. We were planning our trip.
Right.
And that trip was going to be Alaska.
Right.
Yeah, and which would have been fantastic, but yeah, we unfortunately didn't get a chance. So, but yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, strange things come that you don't expect.
That's right.
They can really throw you off.
That's what makes life exciting, right?
It does. It does make it does actually. It makes it exciting. It makes you kind of think about changing in order to, adjust yourself to the present situation at hand.
Yeah. So I think we pretty much agree. I mean, when I started out talking, when I was waiting for you to join us, I was saying that, I mean, a good life, kind of like the word good, it's a subjective term. So what is a good life? It really depends on the individual. I think that, though, that most people are, think of a good life in a similar vein to what we do. The new experiences, goals, and so on. But I guess before you brought your thoughts into it, I was saying that for me a good life was satisfaction with what I was doing, satisfaction with the people that I was spending time with, satisfaction with the job that I'm doing, which to me is the core to the good life. If I'm dissatisfied in some ways and don't have a way to move beyond that then that's that's not a good life. So feeling satisfaction to me is basically the equivalent of living a good life.
That's great. Yeah, that's great. Do you find you're mostly satisfied with things?
Yeah. I enjoy and have good feelings about the people that I spend time with, at home, at work, so my work, I feel satisfied with my work. I'm at a good place in my career. It's coming near to the end of my career, but not there yet, and I still feel satisfied with it. I'm very happy with where I'm living, both the country and down to the city where I live. I came here kind of by accident, more or less. I didn't really plan on, Kumamoto is the place that I want to be, but I'm very, very happy that this is the place where I ended up. So yeah, satisfaction on a high level in every significant aspect of my life, I would say. So that's good for me. That's good.
Wonderful. Great. Yes. And one thing, just quickly before we move on, my wife said to me last night, she said the reason, or what it looks like to her, is that I'm not satisfied.
Oh,
and I'm trying new things. But I do find satisfaction in that, though.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Having goals doesn't mean that you're to me doesn't mean that I'm dissatisfied, but still, Uh, I mean, I guess the ability to try new things is one of the things that I'm satisfied about. If I was in a position where I wasn't able to at least travel slightly, I mean, that's one of the things we were talking about, the limitations that COVID has put on us. That's one of the things that has made this past year less satisfying than it could have been, having to find new avenues to explore instead of traveling and going new places and meeting new people. It was more a question of developing the things that are local to me because of what COVID has done to us.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. There are challenges indeed, right? Of course, with COVID, and there was a question about how does COVID, the challenges of COVID, interact with satisfaction, our satisfaction. That's a very good question. Yeah, I think it, in some ways it kind of detracts from the satisfaction a bit. It's harder to attain satisfaction as we did pre-COVID. Although I am trying many ways to attain that kind of satisfaction, with COVID. And that entails doing more things like this, going online, working more with technology. I'm playing a lot more guitar now at home, right?
Cool.
And writing some songs and whatnot. So that's, for me, that's kind of a way to attain satisfaction even with COVID. And that's really interesting and very useful to think about. How does COVID affect us? Yeah,
COVID. I mean, probably if it wasn't for COVID, we might not be doing this online, live chat. Technology was kind of forced on us, necessitated, the use of technology in our classes to be able to interact with our students remotely due to the situation with COVID and so on. And that has kind of fed into what's developed into our online chats here.
Indeed.
So, it was a challenge, presented itself as a challenge, has now turned into a new opportunity for growth.
Totally.
Exploring, yeah.
Yeah, totally. Right. Yeah, I've been able to find some interesting sites and interesting apps too, during this time.
Yes.
So really good. Riding motorcycles too is a good way to socially distance.
Yeah.
It might not be good for the environment, but.
Right. So, I mean, this COVID kind of brings me to the next question. How does a species go extinct? What do you think is the human race? Will we ever go extinct? I mean, obviously, sometime the human race is going to go extinct. What?
You were cutting out a little bit there, Dan.
Yeah, I'm looking at my image, and it looks really blurry right now. I'm not exactly sure what's going on.
Looks quite blurry, but to your question, yes, I think the human race will go extinct eventually. I think it's difficult to maintain. First of all, population. Population, I think overpopulation is a huge problem. Of course, there's not much we can do about that, but I think also that we are kind of slowly harming the earth, although we don't want to. It's kind of I think it's a byproduct of our development, right, and our kind of the process of moving forward, right.
Mm-hmm.
Industrial development just creates, messy things on the earth. And, my professor, when I was a student, always used to say, you can't stand in the way of progress. Yeah, I think it's true, but unfortunately there are byproducts, and those things kind of harm our earth, our precious earth. We have to make sure we can maintain that. I'm really into the environment. Yeah.
Right.
We don't want to, get to the point where it's unmanageable, which it almost is.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah. So when I was looking at this question, I was thinking about challenges and dangers that the human race is facing now and has faced. And we grew up in an era during the Cold War, and so the threat of nuclear extinction was always high on the list, and it's still present. That we could end ourselves as a human species through some kind of a nuclear conflict, or and so on. Another possibility is something like we're facing now, a pandemic that spreads, a disease that wipes out the human race. That's very scary. And of course, we know that eventually, things can't go on forever. We know that the sun is a star that has a lifespan. I mean, if we annihilate ourselves and so on, eventually the solar system is going to cease to be the solar system that it is. Of course, by that time, maybe we'll have a technology to another solar system, another place, and so on. But what I think, my idea of how the humans will come to be extinct as a species is what you touched on, is us messing up the environment and doing it. Those changes, the degradation of the environment coming at such a fast pace that our technology is unable to save us. We're unable to correct the global warming and the pollution and the extinction of species and of other species and so on. And of course, we know that everything is interrelated. If too many other species die off, then we're going to join them. We know that. Global warming will accelerate, will reach a point where our technology is not able to correct it. Or if we avoid that, other things that we will necessarily mess up with our desire to engineer our environment, and we're never going to get it right, and so we're going to cause ourselves more problems. And again, our advances in problem causing are going to outstrip our advances in the technology that might save us. So, for example, going back to global warming, pollution, and so on, we'll make the Earth basically uninhabitable before we're able to have interstellar travel or something like that we're able to colonize Mars or a moon of Jupiter or something like that.
For sure. That's the whole worry, isn't it? Right.
Yep.
That we're going to destroy the Earth, before we do have an opportunity to do that. Although it's good, that we are thinking about these things, moving on to a different planet and solar system and whatnot. But it might very well be that we destroy ourselves before we're able to do that. Right. And of course, COVID too, the global pandemic. Yeah, it's a difficult situation. It's taken its toll on the American population already. A lot of death, has been, incurred because of COVID, and globally too. It's just, it could keep going. We don't know either, right? So it's a very scary thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the reason I don't think I believe that we're going to have more pandemics. I mean, the people in the know, epidemiologists, seem to basically guarantee that there will be more and more severe and varying, but I believe that, the human genome, the human species won't become extinct that way, because I think that there will be, there's enough individuals, there's enough variation within our genome, within our DNA, that enough members of the human race will survive whatever pandemic there is. They'll have some kind of natural resistance and so on. So the species will be able to carry on regardless of what. I mean, it'll be decimated. The culture, human culture, won't be like it is now. Or won't be able to survive to any real extent. We'll have to basically start over from the Stone Age, basically. But I think that a pandemic is not going to be what actually puts the last nail in the coffin. I think it's going to be I think we're going to do that to ourselves. It's not going to be a virus or a bacteria or a disease of some type. It's going to be ourselves that are messing up.
Yeah, there have been pandemics before that have gone to, to the right side, and yeah, it possibly won't be a pandemic that will kill us, right? But yeah, we may, of course, diseases could crop up, and problems from the environmental degradation and whatnot will come probably before that even. Yes, right. So. As you said, our star, the sun, will die eventually. Yeah, sure. So that's going to, of course, we'll be long gone before that happens. But yeah, it's a finite Earth. It's a finite place. Yeah. So
That's right. That's right. Absolutely.
Which is a totally other fascinating topic to think about, right? Like,
right. Yeah. Yeah. And very much up your alley, right? You environmentalist types. Yeah.
I love astronomy, and just trying to wrap my head around the astronomy and the universe, and where did everything come from and where is it going? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm very respectful of those astronomers and the scientific types, like the Carl Sagans, the Neil deGrasse Tysons, and that are so knowledgeable and yet able to present it in a way that is comprehensible to laymen like ourselves, to appreciate the vastness and the fascination of the universe, the cosmos. Yeah.
Totally true. And it's like, as humans, we can appreciate that. We can think about that and assume things, and yeah, we can kind of try to imagine these things, and I think that's a very human trait, right? Which is interesting. Our brains have developed that much.
Yeah. Okay. Our last question. Is is it possible to live a normal life and not ever tell a lie?
No, what do you mean by lying? What do you mean by tell a lie?
Well, what do you think it means?
Yeah, I think I to your question, I think no, it's not. I wouldn't say. Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes we stretch the truth a little bit, or say something or tell something that we're actually not doing, for example, to get out of a meeting or some such thing. Right. So these things, I think this is very humanistic, and I think we, as humans, I think we try to have the best situation for ourselves in the moment.
Right.
Or whatever that may be, I think we're going to use to our advantage. Yeah.
I mean, when I read that question, my thoughts were possible. I mean, in the realm of possibility, yes. I mean, it's possible to do that. Is it? Do I believe that ever has happened or ever will happen? No, I don't think in actuality, it won't ever happen. And no person will ever live their entire life without in any type of normalcy and never tell a lie. A lie being either an out and out falsehood, or a lie of omission. Not saying something that for one reason or another, not sharing information that should be shared, but they don't share it. So
right. This is now. Then you have to ask: is that problematic, right? Or is that is that bad or good, right? And some small things like that may not be bad, right? The problem is big lies, right?
Right.
Being dishonest, right? Right. I mean, so that's a problem, I think, right?
The motivation, the motivation for telling that lie is
people and with.
Well, yeah, the motivation for telling the lie seems to be a major thing there. Oh, now we're losing you a little bit there. You kind of cut out and got fuzzy on me, but it seems to me
I see that.
To eliminate lies, humans would have to have nearly perfect empathy. If you have perfect empathy, then there's no, then you understand. Okay, this person is saying this, and if you can empathize with their motivations for saying that truth, then you won't take offense. You understand. You need to get out of a meeting. If people have perfect empathy, they understand. Oh, they made a choice, and you empathize with and respect their choice for carrying on that action. So in that case, if we had perfect empathy, then maybe we wouldn't need to lie to each other.
Right. Exactly. And then also what about telling the 100% truth all the time? Like, for example, well, I really don't want to have a meeting, right? Or I really don't want to join this meeting or what have you. Yeah. What about that, that kind of a thing. Yeah. And,
it was like, who was it? Jim Carrey had a movie, Liar, something like that.
Yeah. Right. Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was quite interesting. Yeah, but again, that if people, have perfect empathy, then you don't take offense when somebody tells you the truth, right? They said that truth for their reasons, and so basically we usually, I mean,
No,
the lies that we would say are harmless or whatever are maybe even helpful at this point because we don't have perfect empathy to save someone else's feelings, right? To spare their feelings, right? So if we have perfect empathy, then that's not a consideration anymore. All right. Well, we've gone on a little bit longer than I thought we were going to, which is fine. This is good. I enjoyed this first attempt at a layman's philosophy type of broadcast here. We've had a few technical difficulties here, but overall, pretty good.
I think it went well.
Yeah. All right. So thank you, Jeff. We will wrap this up here for now and try this again in the near future. What do you say?
Sounds good, Dan. Thank you very much for hosting.
All right.
Thank you all for watching.
Yeah. Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.